beautiful girlies, welcome back to my channel. It's Yechima. If you're new here, I create fashion and lifestyle videos, so if you're into that type of thing, definitely consider subscribing, like, comment, share, do all the good things, because I would love to have you back. Now, I know it has been months since I've recorded a video, and you guys are probably wondering, where have I been? So today we're gonna get into a little bit of that, but more so based on the title of today's video, what surgery I had and why. And I did also put some questions up, so those of you who submitted your questions, you already know what the focus of this video is going to be. So let's just get right into it. I don't recall when my last video was, but I know it's been about 4 or 5 months since the last one. Couldn't really find a balance in, everything that was going on. So I just decided to step back from YouTube, focus on what I needed to focus on. And I've been pretty active over on Instagram still. Getting dressed is really fun for me. I really love doing that. That makes me happy. So creating content around that was pretty easy for me to continue to do. Doing long form, shooting video and editing of content was just really too much for my bandwidth for me to handle. So I decided to just not do that and just focus over on styling videos over on Instagram. My health has not been the best since about last year, the year before. I've had some medical issues. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I've had to go to multiple, doctor visits, doing ultrasounds, MRIs, and, just to find out what was going on with me and trying to make sure that I focus on my health, my physical health, my mental health moving forward. So in a nutshell, that's basically why I've been away. And that brings me to another medical issue. So most of you know that I've had a keloid on my chest for multiple years. And I just want to go back into the history of it all before I get into the questions that you guys ask and the surgery that I had to get done to essentially remove it. For most of my childhood, teenage, I've never really had bad skin on my body. Yes, I've had acne, but on my skin was pretty much flawless until I had chickenpox. And chickenpox, it left back home, they call it the mother. So it left a bump on my shoulder, which turned into a keloid, which I later then got a Keloid steroid shot into it, and it went flat. I did that back home in St. Kitts with Dr. Wilkinson. If you guys are watching from St. Kitts, you guys know who I'm talking about. So I first got that done with him. I basically spent $50 to get that Keloid shot because it was fairly small. It wasn't anything huge or anything, but it would definitely hurt when I would wear shoulder bags on that side. So I went ahead and got it injected with that steroid, and it went down completely, flat for years. Years after that, I had a pimple on my chest. I've been trying to squeeze it, nothing happened. So it just was a small little bump that was just there, and eventually it turned into a keloid. It was fairly small, and because I had the one on my shoulder, I was okay, it's small. Let me go and get it injected so it doesn't get any bigger. So I did that, and nothing really happened for maybe months, and then it got bigger. It got bigger, and I did the first shot into it at a dermatologist when we lived in St. Thomas, and those hurt. If you guys are not familiar with steroid shots and keloids, they hurt. They hurt. I just couldn't understand why it got bigger at that point. So I then saw a plastic surgeon because I also had a piercing because I was young and dumb, and I got a navel piercing. I was just so thirsty to wear the cute little jewels on my navel that I didn't leave the actual surgical, metal in the navel area long enough, and I put little charm ones in too soon, and that caused the area to get infected, and it later turned into a keloid. That keloid then would cause really they were called like painful cysts. In the years that I've had the keloid on my navel, I think I've had maybe 3 or 4 cysts. And the last cyst took me to the ER. It was bad, like traumatic. Since that one, I haven't had any issues with that. But the one on my chest would just be really, really painful, like on a daily basis. We moved upstate New York and was like, okay, I'm moving to the States. It's gonna be better doctors, you know, better everything. So I thought. I did like maybe 3 sessions at the dermatologist. It got flat significantly. And I was like, okay, you know, I'm cured. It's fine. It's flatter. And then that's when it started to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because I was like, I'm not doing any more shots. They just keep getting bigger and nothing is, you know, helping. I decided not to do any more shots at that point. It got bigger. It got more painful. I think up to recently, I think it was early this year, went and got a physical, and I mentioned it to my PCM, and she was like, you know, you should probably go and see a specialist and have them check it out, because with it being so painful, like on a daily basis, and it being like in the area where it is, it's probably going to get worse and you probably need to get it treated. So that what got my, you know, wheels turning, and was like, you know what, I probably should get it checked. It's painful. I can't sleep properly. Like I could only sleep like on my tummy most of the time to sleep like comfortably, and that would be like, you know, on my pillow with my chest not like touching anything, in a sense. I couldn't sleep on either of my sides. I decided to go and see a dermatologist, and I ended up at a specialist at Walter Reed. She looked at it. After examining it, she suggested that I get it scraped off. She mentioned that she had a client or a patient that she saw like a month before me, and the patient was healing fine. So I was like, you know what, I really don't want to do anything, but I have to do something because it's hard to live with. Like at this point, I would just get sharp pain out of nowhere, and I just really couldn't handle that anymore. Like it was really painful. Sometimes like it would be so painful, like it would bring tears to my eyes. It was that bad. I was like, I have to do something about it. And I just was like, you know, I'm gonna do it. 3 weeks later, going in for, you could say I was actually awake during the entire process, but it was like a mini surgery. I was very afraid of getting the local anesthesia in the area, because that is painful. But after the numbing actually went in, that's when the doctor and the nurses were, you know, removed it. And the process itself took maybe about 10 minutes. It wasn't that long. I was awake the entire time, to cut it off. And then she went back in to like just smooth it out a bit, because it was a little bit lumpy, according to my husband. So let's get into the questions. A few of you, well, questions. So one of the questions asks, have you tried any other options for removal? I guess I have, if you count the previous steroid shots, but surgically, no, I did not. Like I said, I was like too scared, so I didn't even try to do any of those. This was like my first time doing like a removal. The next question was the removal process painful? Yes, if you do not have a high tolerance for pain, it will be painful with respect to like the local anesthesia. I didn't feel anything when she was cutting it off or shaving it off. That's a good thing. But if I had a choice, I would want them to put me under, because I didn't want to see anything. So the fact that I was seeing the knife, you know, go across my face, and the nurses passing like gauze and all those things to like stop the bleeding. It didn't bleed a lot, but like I didn't want to see that. Another question was like, how long have I had the keloid? This one on my chest in particular, I want to say 2014. So it's been about 9 years since I've had this keloid. It's not there anymore. Now I'm like nursing a wound. So this one wasn't a question. She said, and I know this person, she has a similar, or had a similar keloid on her chest. I think hers were a bit higher than mine. Mine is a bit lower, according to what my doctor said, because of where the keloid is, this one is very high tension, so I think that's probably why it was just so painful all the time, because of where it is, like the location. One thing I must mention though, when I told my current doctor all the other shots that I've had in the past, what she mentioned was that the reason why it keep getting bigger and bigger is because you stop the steroid shots. So with a keloid, to maintain it being flat, so when it got flat the first time, what I should have done when it started getting bigger was go back and get more shots. I would say if you do have a keloid on your chest or anywhere, definitely continue with them so that you don't have to go to this extreme of a process in getting it like shaved off. I probably could have saved myself a lot of stress and pain by just going back to the dermatologist in St. Thomas and getting more shots. You live and you learn. The next question was, what causes keloid and do they ever go away completely? So basically, I've watched tons of videos, and if you ever do like research, you can get keloids from just about anything. Essentially, a keloid is caused when your body think that the area is still healing, so it overproduces collagen. You can get keloids from just about anything. You can get it from a small little pimple. You can get it from a scrape. You can get it after surgery. Like if you had a surgical procedure that uses like a scalpel and your body needs to heal that area. I know women who mention that they have had C-sections and they have like keloids in those areas. Like you can get it from just about anything, but what causes your skin to flesh up like that is your body thinking that it's still healing, so it over produces collagen, and the collagen, it just keeps growing and growing because the body thinks that it's still healing. It doesn't like connect that, you know, it's a wound and it's been covered already. So all right, so I'm looking at WebMD. I've used this a lot when I worked in insurance. It says these wounds can be caused by burns, accidents, surgical procedures, acne, piercings, and some types of medical conditions. Your body tries to repair the damaged skin by growing new tissue at the site of the wound. It also tries to close any openings caused by the wound. Many scars fade away and become less visible on their own after some time. Keloid scars may be more noticeable. So a keloid scar is that in appearance, it looks larger than the original wound. It's thick and lumpy and raises high above the rest of the skin. And this type of scar can be seen anywhere on your body. You will mostly find keloid formation on the upper chest, head, especially on the earlobes after they've been pierced, shoulders, and neck. It's rarely seen anywhere on the face, but may appear on the jawline. They are not normally dangerous, but some patients have concerns about how they look. But they forgot to mention that they are super painful as well. All right, this is not really giving me what I wanted, but essentially, like I said, your body overproduces collagen, and so it develops more scar tissue than needed, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. All right, so the next question that I got, did you have to get steroid injections before removal surgery to prevent it from regrowing? And yes. Well, yes and no. So I did get the injections, but I didn't get the steroid injections before the surgical removal. What they did after they removed it and shaved it, that's when they injected it with the Keloid with a mixture of like some chemotherapy medication. But I went to my 2nd month checkup, and according to the doctor, it's not healing the way it's supposed to. It's like very shiny. It's still pretty much red. It's still very itchy. I was very sad about that. Like I literally broke down, hyperventilating and everything. It was awful. They're giving me another 3 to 4 weeks to see how it progresses. In that session, my doctor did re-injected the area with steroid shots, but essentially I have to keep it covered still. I'm not sure if keeping it covered is helping my progress, to be quite honest with you guys. First of all, it's an open wound, so that's going to prevent it from getting infected. Also, it's making the healing process very, very, very slow. I'm still getting steroid injections. They're talking possible like re-incision and then stitching it up, which I don't want because I feel because of where the area is, it's high tension. Like my skin, like I have tight skin, like my skin is tight. I feel like if they go in and have to stitch it up, it's going to pull on my skin, the skin around the keloid or the wound, and cause me to get more keloid and make the area look more, I don't know, just I'm just not in agreement with that step. So I'm hoping they figure something out before then, and I'm hoping that my body heals the way it should, and so I won't have to go that route. Another person asked, what are the chances of it coming back? Everyone healing process is different. So for some people, it may not ever come back. And for others, it may come back at a lesser capacity and they will just need to get like injections. Other people, it grows back twice as big, or, you know, in my case, when I got the injections and stopped, like they got bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm not sure what the outcome would be with this removal. I'm just hoping for the best on this one. So, and then I got some more questions like in DM, so I'm gonna go through those. Someone asked, did my insurance cover it? So in the past with the steroid injections, I want to say in the past with the steroid injections, when I worked for, you know, when I wasn't like in the military, my insurance would cover it. I'm not sure if they would have covered the procedure. It depends on, like, you know, what your doctor put down as the insurance code. Me personally, working in insurance, I know it all depends on the code and your diagnosis. So I know a lot of insurance company may say that this is cosmetic, but if you can, this is just me helping you finesse the system. If you can have your provider put down what's causing, like you could, like for me, it was painful. So it was getting bigger. It was, you know, hampering me from like daily life, essentially. Like the one on my navel, it became cystic. So that would be a code that they could use. Thank God for being in the military. Well, not me, but my husband. Insurance is like top tier in my opinion. So basically when I go to the doctor, I just walk in and show them my ID and that's it. I've never, since being in the military with my husband, I've never had to like pay out of pocket for anything. And I try to go to the clinics or the facilities that accepts, you know, military, especially when it comes to medical. I've never had to come out of pocket for any medical services. Vision, dental, that's a whole different story. But for medical, I didn't have to pay anything. So I can't really say how much of coverage insurance would cover, or if it's something that you would have to pay out of pocket because, you know, based on diagnosis. And I've mentioned this before. The question was my keloid painful before? Which I've answered. It was painful every day. This one especially, and the one on my navel, not currently now. It's pretty much not active. I actually got the keloid on my navel injected with Keloid shots, and it's pretty much flat. I had a couple on my shoulders from pimples as well, and they're now flat from the injections that I got. So I'm no longer worried about those. Now, they said, did they try to shrink? The next question was, did they try to shrink it before the surgery? No, they did not. Maybe that's something I could have suggested before getting it shaved off completely. But like I said, it was very painful and it was very, very raised. It was like very thick. It was like a lot of collagen and just overproduction of like scar tissue in the area. So I'm not sure if the injections would have helped it. So that's why I just went ahead and did the shaving. So it says, how flat is it supposed to be after the surgery? It's supposed to be flat. It's right now, it is as flat as my chest, like on my skin. So the doctor did a really good job shaving it down to my skin epidermis. it's just open at this point. I just want it to heal. And I don't really care if it's like discolored or anything. I could always cover that up with makeup. I just don't want it to be painful. I don't want it to itch. I don't want it to have any sensation in the area, the way it was with respect to like pain. So right now it's flat, but it's an open wound. So I really wanted to show you guys how it looks currently, but I'm just not going to do that to you guys. I know some of you may not be like, you know, liking to see like wounds and stuff, and I'm not going to show you that. So I think that was all the questions. All right, so those were all the questions that were asked. Life after getting it removed, my keloid, has been a bit of a challenge. So many of you know that I would work out 5 to 6 times a week, and so far I haven't. When I first got it removed, I was like, I'm gonna walk because I just want to stay, but then walking was like irritating the area, so I just decided not to. And I was hoping that at my 2-month checkup that it would be fine and I would be able to go back and work out. I can't work out the way I was, especially with the strength training that I was doing. I did a lot of lifting, which I really enjoy. Like, that is my preference. I do not like cardio. I don't like running, and walking is a lot, but I prefer to lift weights. And because of the area and, you know, lifting and all of that, I'm just not sure if I can. I think I'm gonna ease myself back into it. I know I can't go as hard, so I'm just gonna have to find other methods for me to work out. So I'm thinking about Pilates. We'll see how that goes, but I haven't had to really worry about like the sharp pains that I used to get with the keloid, so that's a great thing. Currently I can't sleep on my side. Well, I can a little without having to deal with pain, but I don't. Majority of the time I'm sleeping on my back, and I'm sleeping like on 2 pillows because I have to be like upright basically. So that's that. So I haven't really gotten much of a relief per se. Like, I have, but not in the way that I was expecting to. So it's very difficult to put like clothes on, just like doing simple things like putting a shirt on. I would definitely have to take my time because it's still an open wound. It's still kind of painful. It's just, I can't really do as much. I can't dress the way I would want. Like, actually I can, because as you can see, I'm wearing this lovely dress from Stott. It's so cute. And it has like that opening, but it's still more of a conscious thing. Like, when you go out, you like know with this big white bandage on. But most of the time, like if I'm wearing and I feel conscious about like the white bandage or the white dressing, I have like these brown boob tapes that I've been using across my chest because it's the only thing. I actually bought some, like the Band-Aid. It doesn't stick the way I wanted to, so I like the tape. The boob tape was a better application over the dressing, so I would put that on every now and again. Overall, I'm grateful that it's no longer there. I am grateful that I have doctors who are trying to help in my healing process. I am grateful for my husband being there on my visits to help me through the process and just being my support. I really appreciate that. And overall, I'm just grateful that I've had the resource to go and get it removed, because I know that is like a big factor in why a lot of people have not gotten it removed or don't want to get the shots, because they can be expensive if you don't have, good insurance and stuff like that. So I'm grateful for it all. And I'm grateful for you all for being patient with me this entire time and your continuous support on my platforms. I am trying to get back on my Zoom, so videos will be coming. I'm trying to ease myself into it, so don't expect too much. Expect a lot of good things, but consistency will be in moderation, because I'm just still in a mental and physical space where I'm just trying my best to, you know, do my best. I think that is all. This is going to be a long video to edit, so I am going to try my best to condense this as much as possible, and I hope you guys found this video of value. If you have any other questions with respect to my keloid and getting it removed, please feel free to leave your questions or comments below, and I will do my best to answer them accordingly. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you have not already. More videos are coming. I actually have videos recorded from early summer that I have not edited yet. They're like home decor videos, and I really hope that you guys enjoy what's next to come. I look forward to getting back, you know, into the swing of things. So all right, thank you so much. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.